Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about the Mortal Chess Game. The Mortal Chess Game was a game played by Adolf Anderssen and Lionel Kierzke on 21st June 1851 in London. So this was the first ever international chess tournament played. The bold sacrifices made by Anderssen to secure victory have made it one of the most famous chess games of all time. So in this game, Anderssen is playing the white pieces and Kierzke is playing the black pieces. So Anderssen starts out with e4, Kierzke replying with e5 and f4. Here we have the king's gambit opening. E takes, bishop to c4 and queen to h4 check. And here white plays king to f1. So the idea behind king to f1 is white plans to give up his castling in order to promote rapid development of his pieces. Of course, in this position g3 cannot be played as f takes g3 would be winning for black. So king to f1, b5. Many players have analyzed this game and said that this is a mistake, as black should focus on developing his other pieces such as playing bishop to e7 and knight to f6 and castle quickly. Bishop takes b5, knight f6. Black's plan is to take on e4 and deliver checkmate by queen to f2, and knight f3 stops that. Queen to h6. And now if you notice, black's queen is kind of jammed. It has no space to go. After the move knight to f6, the move has completely blocked the escape route through d8 for the black queen. So black must do something to free up some space for his queen. d3, knight h5. Here black's plan is to play knight to g3 and take the white rook, and knight to h4 solves the problem. Here white's plan is to play knight to f5, which is a stronghold for the white knight. So after knight to h4 we have queen to g5 and knight to f5, protecting the white bishop and also placing the knight in a strong position. c6 and g4. Here white's plan is to get rid of the black knight. Knight f6, and here we have rook to g1. The idea behind rook to g1 is that we cannot directly play h4 assuming the black queen is trapped. So after black has an option of playing queen takes g4, and this is not what white wanted. So white wanted to provide support to the g4 pawn and then play h4. So after rook to g1 we have c takes b5, h4, queen to g6, h5 and queen to g5. Now we have queen to f3. The bishop plans to take on f4, and knight to g8 is the only move which black can play to safeguard his queen. After bishop takes f4 we have queen to f6. Now you look at black's position and look at white's position. White has almost all his pieces activated and black's pieces are all in the back line. So we must develop our pieces as soon as possible in the game. So after queen to f6 we have knight to c3, bishop to c5, planning to take the rook on g1, and white is willing to sacrifice the rook to play knight to d5. Both of these white knights are extremely strongly placed, and a centrally placed knight is equal to 3 pieces on the chessboard. So after knight to d5 we have queen takes b2, and now we have bishop to d6. The idea behind this move is to restrict the the movement of the king as much as possible, and also to have mating lines such as knight takes b7. So after bishop to d6 we have bishop takes g1, and this is a mistake, as a better alternative for black would have been to simply take the bishop here, but bishop takes g1 was a big mistake by black. So after e5 we have queen takes a1 and king to e1, king to e2. Now after the move e5, black's queen is completely restricted, and black cannot even go back to his home square to protect his king. So the black queen is completely jammed, and both of this queen and this bishop are completely underlined. So after queen takes e1 we have king to e2 and then knight to a6. And after this move, Anderson himself announced during the game that you have lost, and this is a forced checkmate after 3 moves. So you can pause the video and guess the mate in 3. So the mating line is knight takes b7 check, king to d8, queen to f6, knight takes f6, and bishop to e7 checkmate. So this was a forced checkmate by white. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and this game is also known as the immortal chess game, as there are many immortal games, such as you can look up to Kasparov's Immortal, Karpov's Immortal, Bobby Fischer's The Game of the Century, Anand's Immortal, but this game is officially the immortal chess game. And I hope you learned something from this game, and thank you.